Hello, grade 7-8. Problem solving from May 19th. I noticed I was going through my videos that showed the answers to all of them, and I think I messed up in the fourth video, so I thought I would redo that. So let's take a look at problem solving number 4 from May 19th. Here is the question and the presenter. So first, we're going to look at it in two ways. We're going to go to the block method and the algebraic method. So the Singapore problem solving block method. Mr. Lee had a bag of red beans and a bag of black beans. 20%. Oh, that's the first question. Fourth question. Andy had 20% fewer marbles than Henry. So the first thing my mind does is I go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He had 20% less. So this is Andy. Andy equals 4 times x. We don't know what these boxes are. And Henry has 5, like 100%. The reason I got 4 boxes and 5 boxes is Andy is supposedly having 20% less than Henry. So you can see he now has 20% less. So I've put blocks of 20% to try to figure out how much they have. But then Andy gives 80 beans or marbles over to Henry. And Henry now has 2 times as many. So first, let's go with block method, okay? He gives some over to here. So some of this goes this direction, and then he has twice as many. And if you look carefully, you notice if one of these blocks moved over here, Henry would have 6, and Andy would have 3. So Henry would have twice as many. So that means after 80 move, he now has 3x. Or now he has 1, 2, 3, this, and Henry now has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, plus a little bit more. Now, since we know that 80 moved from here to here, and that's one block, we can now figure out that each block is worth 80. And the question says, how many did Andy have to begin with? 80 times 4 is 320 marbles. Now let's look at it algebraically. Andy had 4x. Now when he gave 80 marbles to Henry, Henry now had twice as much. So that means Henry had 2 times the 4x minus 80, because Andy gave a block over, right? Or he gave 80 over. He had 4x minus 80, and now Henry has twice as many, so that equals h. Well, I can also replace h with 5x, because that's what he had up here, plus the 80 he receives. You can already see this is more complicated than the block method, but for those of us who are symbolic learners, this is very helpful. So let's take a look. 2 times 4 is 8x minus 80. And then we still have the 5x plus 80. So let's get all these x's on one side first. We now have 3x minus 80 equals 80, like this. Well, let's get that on over here. Oh, hold on. I think I made a mistake. Hold on. Let me think about this. Give me a second. Oh, I caught my mistake. Look at this, I did my 2 times 4, but I didn't do my 2 times minus 80. So that should be minus 160. There we go. So now I've got 3x minus 160 equals 80. So let's get that 60 over to the other side so the x's are on their own. Oh, we're running out of space here. Hold on. And we now have 240. Which makes x equal 80. Now, as you can see, the algebra works, but it's easy to make a minor mistake. I almost did myself, and that could have been fatal in the question. But with the box method, it got a lot easier too. And my brain doesn't really work that way, but I'm forcing it to. I'm trying because when things are hard, it means your brain is underdeveloped in those regions because you're not used to them. For example, if you can't juggle or you haven't previously juggled, it's much harder than it is for someone who can juggle already because they have developed those areas of the brain. When you start learning, it gets easier and easier because your brain develops that way. So if you are a symbolic person, go for the block method and vice versa. Anyhow, as you can see, the answer would be 320 marbles. I hope this helps.